Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of the man with no name statue tutorial. So the last video we did layers on the hands and head. I glued the head to a stick so I can work on that without getting my fingers all over it. We're going to move on to some other things now. Let's start painting the bottom half, jeans and the boots. The jeans are apparently black, like black Levi's type jeans, but obviously they're very worn and dusty and looking a bit more grey and dirty, but they are essentially black jeans. I'm not going to paint black because that's way too deep. I could paint black and put a load of weathering on it, but it will get more I will be able to get closer to the look that I want by putting on a colour that already matches the pre-weathered look of the jeans first, and then add darker bits and lighter bits and everything. And the boots apparently are like a tan colour, so sort of like a very yellowy brown, but again very dusty, very dirty, very greyed out. A lot of this is going to be brought to life by the weathering that I paint onto it. So let's get these done. I will bring the camera in to about there. Let's have a look. Yep, close enough. Let's put me in the bottom corner. Hello. Right, let's see. So, I need a big brush for this. Just make sure there's no dust on it. Right. So, while I'm getting my paint, let me just check everything's on. Music is playing. Clock is ticking, so it's actually recording. Microphone is working. Okay, we're all good. So I do want some black, even though I'm not going to paint black because that's just going to look artificial. Black jeans never look that black, but I'm going to use the colour. I'm also going to have some umber just to make the black look a little bit more earthy, so it's not quite so artificially black. I also want some that's going to be useful later. Earth brown. I forgot I had that colour. That's going to be useful at some point. I want some dark grey definitely in there. Okay, let's start with that. So let's get a load of black in there. No, I'm just trying to think how I'm going to do this. I might do one leg at a time because obviously I need to be able to hold it. This is going to be so difficult to get on camera. I need to be able to hold it while I'm working on it, and if I paint the other leg, then I can't paint both legs at the same time. And I can't hold it by the boots because I don't want to risk snapping that off. So that's where I'm holding it. So I think I'll paint half of it, sort of maybe up to that crease, and do up the back, and then let that dry and then move over. Okay, so put that there. So I want some black, I want some umber, which is dark brown. Let's hold this here so you can see what I'm doing. I want some umber. I'm going to need way more paint than this, but I just want to sort of get a rough idea what I'm doing with the colour. I want some grey in there. Let's get some more black, more umber, more grey. Actually, you know what I want to put in it? I'm going to put a little bit of royal blue in it, because faded black jeans, the fabric often looks a little bit blue. Like, it's not very blue. I don't want it to be blue jeans because they're not. They're supposed to be black jeans. But if you add a bit of blue into the colour, it just might help with making them look faded. I don't think... See, that's just sort of looking black. You can't really see. It's a bit more grey and a bit more bluish. Let's actually get some more grey in that. That's actually not a bad start. Let me scrape some of that off. I want to get some more grey again. I just want to lighten it up a little bit. Mix it up. And then I'm just going to thin it down. Ooh. Alright, let's... Let's get a load of thinner. Chuck some water in there as well, because there's quite a lot of paint here. I think that's okay to start with. Okay, let's see. Now this is going to be, as with everything, a few layers. And there's going to be dark bits, there's going to be light bits, there's going to be... Might do some bits a bit blue just to liven up the colour a little bit. That's going to be alright. As a first layer, that is fine. Oh, it's certainly more challenging than the usual smaller things that I paint. Whoa, getting paint flicked all over me here. I'm going to have to be careful. I'm just taking this down to almost the bottom of the jeans there, because I don't want to get any of that dark grey. It's not really black, it's sort of like a very darkish brownish grey with a bit of blue in it. I don't want to get any of that on the boots, or you know, where the boots go, because they're going to be painted with a light tan colour, and I don't want to have to go over it several times to get rid of the black. So I'm just taking that down to almost the join between the jeans and the boots, and I will do that final join bit with a small brush just to get it accurate. And I'm just going to do a line up there, because I'm painting these halves separately, and if there's a bit where the two separately painted halves, you know, create like a join with the paint, at least it will just look like the join on the back of his jeans. But there shouldn't be anything visible, but I just figured, well, there would be a join up the back of his jeans there, so that is where I will make the join. So what I'm going to do is paint the jeans, and I probably need a couple of layers of this just to adequately cover. I mean, it's almost done as it is, but unless the brush strokes dry out more than it looks like they're going in, you will see brush strokes, and I want to get rid of them, obviously. Now let me see if I can do this. Turn this upside down so I can get to this bit. I'm going to have to be careful that when I'm doing this, I don't touch, because this is so big, it'd be very, very easy to touch this on my t-shirt or something. So I'm going to have to be careful I don't do that. So I'm taking that, you can see the line of the boots there. Where are we? There. And I'm just taking the paint almost to the edge, and I'll do that with a small brush separately. So I want to get the jeans done, and with both layers, and I want to get the boots done with the right colour. Let me just grab hold of this a sec. And then I want to go in and weather both of them, the jeans and the boots. Now, it's not just a case of sort of painting dust over everything. I can't use the same colours. I know some people, when they're making like models of tanks or spaceships or whatever, I think you can buy weathering kits that are essentially like dusty paint. It's like pastels, like makeup, and you can brush it on and it gives a weathered effect. Now that's not what I'm doing here. That would work, I could do that, but I'm actually going to be doing my weathering with paint. So I'm going to be painting on different colours on the boots than I am to the jeans, but I would like to have the base colours of the jeans and the boots done, so then I can just be weathering both of them, and I'll be dipping into different colours for each, but at least I'm weathering them both at the same time. And if I get a bit of one thing on the other, it's not going to matter too much because it's all weathering. It doesn't matter. I mean, that colour's actually looking okay so far. If I sort of lighten that up with dusty, worn out bits, and just imagine that you've thrown them on the desert floor and it's just full of dust and bits of mud and plants, and you rub them around and get them really worn out, that's what these are going to look like, and I think that's going to look really cool. Now that leg is already drying, but not enough for me to hold it yet, but I don't want this paint to go to waste. I don't want to have to mix the same colour again, so I'm going to start painting this on the other half, but I'm going to do it sort of above the knee, and while I'm doing this, hopefully the other half will be dry enough for me to switch over and just paint this bottom bit. I'll just get a little bit of thinner in there. Oh, excuse me. I would have thought you'd be painting Clint Eastwood's crotch for a living. It's funny the way things work out. So Darren, what did you do today? Oh well, I had Clint Eastwood's crotch on my face and I was painting it. Obviously, because that's what people do. So what I'm pretty much going to do on the whole thing is get the base layers of the clothing painted almost as if it's brand new clothing. So the colours that each thing actually is, so the colours of the jeans, the colours of the boots, the colour of the sheepskin vest, the colours of all those separate bits. I'm going to get them painted. Let's see. I don't want to hold this by the boot because I don't want to put that much strain on it in case they break. But I do want to... Oh, that might work. If I lean it on the bottom bit there and just hold it by the boot to support it, I can bring this paint around to this side. Hooray! There you go. I can carry on painting this bit. What was I saying? So I want to get the clothes painted sort of the colour, well, you know, roughly the colour that they would be if they were new. It might not be precise because I am going for a particular end result here, but the way that I'm painting it is almost as if I'm painting brand new clothes on him and then going in and weathering everything to make it look old and deserty and dusty and all of that stuff. So that's what I'm doing. I just had to look up then and make sure that you could actually see what I'm doing because it's not in front of the camera. There's a difficult thing with painting something that's so big and so unwieldy to hold. It's very difficult to keep it. I mean, I struggle as it is keeping a normal sized head in front of the camera. So when you've got something this big, which is difficult to paint anyway, and then you've got to make sure that it's in front of the camera, it can be a bit awkward. Whoop. Now, what I'm going to do is let that dry. I'm going to get a smaller brush and chuck that in the water. Let me get a smaller... come here. No, not that one. Where are you? There. Smaller brush with a pointier edge so I can go in. Which one's more dry? That one. So I can go in, probably got to get paint on me here. Oh, this is difficult. Okay, bear with me here a sec, because this might go off camera, because I'm trying to look at something up close and get to it. Oh, I can't even get to it. So awkward. Because I've got to look over the edge of my glasses here. what I was trying to say, what I was about to say. I'm going to do these neat edges. Well, they're neatish, neat enough, because I'm going to be going in with shadows and stuff anyway. And then I'm going to let these jeans dry. Now, I know you can't really see this is difficult because I'm trying to look at these up close, but I can't, because of the size of them, I can't just hold them under the camera like I normally do with the head when I'm looking at something up close. So I'm just having to paint these. Basically all I'm doing is the edges where they go up to the boot, I'm just painting those edges neater, but I'm just having to hold it up in front of my eyes so I can see what I'm doing. And it's too big to hold. Normally I would lift it up and hold it in front of the camera, and I just can't do that with this because it's dead heavy. But I'm going to paint these neat edges and then let the jeans dry, because I want to see. At first I was thinking, okay, that's definitely going to need another layer because you can see the brush marks. And as it was drying, I was thinking, oh, I don't know, that might be okay. Because by the time I go over it with, oh, be careful there, nearly let that fall off the edge of the table. By the time I go in with the highlights and the shadows and the, you know, the lighter worn out colours and the darker bits on the fabric, might actually be okay. So I want to see what they look like dry before I do anything. God, that's awkward to get to. Awkward to get to because the other leg and the other boots are in the way. Just go round again because I can see that it could be painted over the edge a bit better. Okay, one side done. This is so awkward. Now, I know I'm completely off the camera here, but just forgive me while I do this bit. Because I'm basically doing... So that one, you can see where I've taken it down to the boot. I'm doing the same here, just making my way around, but there's no way I can just hold it up here because the legs themselves are covered in wet paint. It's too heavy to just hold up with one hand, and I need to look really close to see how accurately I'm painting it up to the edge, or actually up to and over the edge, because you've got to go over the edge because obviously the underneath of the thing is still the same fabric. So you have to paint up to the edge and then over the edge and paint the underneath of it. Okay. Yep, neat edges. Now then, yep, there are brush marks all over this, so I will go over with another coat. I mean, it probably could be weathered away, to be honest. But I won't try because I would rather just have the right colour. Now then, do I wait longer for it to dry, or do I... You know what, I think... Give me another big brush. Right, let me just put this over here a sec. Will you stand upside down and balance on your bottom? Yes, you will. Hooray. What I mean by that is... like that. Clint Eastwood's legs and bottom sticking out of my desk. Okay, I want to go back to this big brush, but it's unfortunately covered in water now, so I want to rinse it out, but then get rid of some of the water, because I want to use the colour paint that I've got there, which is sort of the right colour. And all I want to do is, because I don't want to cover it in water or anything, I just want almost dry brush more of this colour, which is, it's starting to thicken up now. When you leave paint out, it just sort of gets thicker and thicker and then just dries. It's starting to thicken out, but I don't want to fill it back up with liquid to make it liquidy again. I just want to use that thick paint and dry brush it over the jeans to get rid of the brush strokes. But I don't want to cover the whole thing with a thick coat of paint that is perfect, that colour. I actually really like the way some of the grey of the primer sort of shows through a little bit, maybe. Not really showing through, but it's not completely covered in this stuff, because the weathered jeans sort of look like that. I just don't want brush strokes. This is so difficult to hold when the thing itself is wet. Do I just lay it down like that? I suppose I could do that. Let me get these things out of the way. Okay. Hang on, let me fix the focus, because now that that is down there and not being held up. Okay, that'll do. I'll get some of this, and I just want to even it all out. I will do the front and then I'll do the back. That's how I'll do it. I'll lay it down on my desk, which means I don't have to hold it. And because I'm not needing to be super accurate with this, because this is like a second coat, which will get rid of the brush strokes, and also potentially, because I'm going across, give me some effect of the fabric in the jeans. Maybe, if I'm lucky. Oh, there's a hair. Where did that come from? Probably came off the brush. Oh, I'm sticking my head under the camera here. Now I can already see I'm not going to have enough paint to do the back as well, so I will have to mix up some more to do the back half, but that's okay. I'll just mix it to match the colour. I mean, to be honest, I might not even have enough to do this front half. Yeah, that's already way better. And I think is going to be all I need to do on these. If I can turn it around, don't know if you can see the difference between that, where you can sort of see through it in bits and there's brush marks, and that where there isn't. Now I'll only really know when it's dry, because paint dries at different colours. Okay, you stand upside down again. How did I make this? Okay, it was some black and some umber and a bit of blue and some grey. Oh, that's actually close enough straight away. Okay, so I can bring that back over. What had I done? The front. Okay, I'm going to hold him upright again like that and do the back. I don't think I've mixed enough paint. Forgive my lack of talking while I'm doing this. I'm just sort of concentrating on how it looks, and also I can't think of anything to say while I'm doing this bit because it's quite mundane. See, it's times like this where it would be really good if this was a real-time interactive live video thing, because I could just ask you all what you're up to. What films have you seen lately? What are you doing? What's going on in your lives? But I can't because I'm sitting here in silence in my studio by myself. It's okay. We'll be on interesting stuff soon. I do know one thing, I'm bloody hungry. What time is it? Why am I asking you? You're watching this in the future. You're watching this on a different day and a different week, possibly in a different month, in a different country. You don't know what time it is. What time is it? It is 10 to 5 on a Sunday. Food time soon. Right, let me stand this upright a sec. And get paint on my fingers, obviously, off Clint Eastwood's arse. Thank you, Clint. Let me brush your arse again, sir. Whoa, don't be slipping like that. Do not want to break this. Do not want to break this. Yank. So that's still drying. That's almost dry, and that's how it looks. That's actually fine, because when I put shadows on that and then put worn out bits on that, and where the denim sort of gets thinner and goes pale, and put dust all over it, like he's been sitting down in the dust or kneeling down or bits by his boots, that's going to be great. That is the right colour. You go and stand upside down over there, please, and do not fall over. Thank you. Okay, so that's that done. Tell you what, let me change cameras while I'm... Get that out of the way. Hi. Okay, so as the jeans done, I didn't get the boots on. It's 44 minutes come up to already. I will leave the boots until another time. I am probably going to need to take these brushes into the bathroom and wash them properly in a sink, because the water, anytime you use black paint, I can use the same water for days normally and it's fine. There's always enough to, you're able to clean the brushes from it. As soon as you use black paint, it just turns black and it's impossible to clean the brushes properly. Fine, I'll go and clean you properly. Okay, so that's what happens. This is my life. Paint everywhere. That's the jeans, the base colours, not the weathering, not the aging, not the wearing out, none of that stuff, but the base colour of the jeans is done a sort of blackish, brownish blue. I don't know why I'm bothering to... I'm dipping my fingers into that water just so I can wet my hands and get rid of the paint. I don't know why I'm bothering to do that, because I'm about to go to a sink where there's hot water and soap. I've no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. Why are you following me? Okay, so the jeans are done. So the boots need to be done and stuff. So next time we will do... Oh, the face and the hands from last time, they were almost right after the 2 coats. I gave them another coat just to even them out. I did it off camera because you already saw me do it twice, and I know you're here to see every brush stroke, but you don't need to see the same brush strokes 3 times in a row, because that is boring. And there's better use of your time. So I did that off camera. So that's ready to go next time to do the faces and the hands and all of that stuff. So next time we'll get on with something else. It could be, we might make a start on the hat, we might make a start on the holster or the gun, which is going to be interesting, or we might make a start on... Oh my god, seriously, I'm going to get a workout doing this. I'm going to be like so fit at the end of this. Might make a start on that. Still don't know how I'm doing those stripes on the arms. Do I ignore them and just do the overall appearance of what the colour is from a distance, or do I try and paint the stripes and make myself go crazy? I don't know yet. I might try and do both, do the impression of the colour and do some stripes here and there, so it's sort of, you can tell it's stripy, but I'm not painting every single, because seriously, the stripes on the shirt, even on the full size shirt, they're microscopic. They're like really, really, really thin stripes. To try and paint them is going to be quite hard. I don't like skimping out on detail, but I also know that sometimes trying to paint in too much detail can actually make things look painted. And it's a good point. It's a thing worth talking about. Maybe when we actually get to the stripes I'll talk about it. I know some painters who do a similar sort of thing to me. They will paint on a face, like on a face that's that big. They will use microscopic brushes and they will paint eyelashes onto the eyes and stuff like that. And I don't do that much detail. I will paint the appearance of eyelashes. I will shade it in where the eyelashes are, but I won't paint individual eyelashes, because at that scale, you take a human sized head and shrink it down to that, you would not see individual eyelashes. And when you paint them in, they are never as thin or natural looking as real ones. It does far better. I mean, when you go up with a camera and zoom right in and take super, super close up photos that you then blow up to a screen, you can see detail on them. But to the naked eye, how you will be looking at things on a shelf, for me, it does a far better impression of looking like a real person by just shading things in where there are details that give the impression, like if you've got a figure that big that's on a shelf, that sort of distance in front of you, it looks like he's got eyelashes. And if you put a microscope on him, then you can see it's not, it's just shaded in. But that's fine, because we don't look at our collectibles with microscopes. If you looked at it up close, you can see all the detail. I do put detail on the skin. I mean, you've seen all that kind of stuff. I put all the freckles and the the appearance of pores on the skin, because I can do that. Painting eyelashes, to me, never looks real. It always makes it look like a painted thing that maybe has more detail but has less realism. It's an interesting balance. So on this, I'm worried about trying to paint stripes like that are thinner than, here you go, a toothpick. So there's a toothpick. The stripes on his shirt are thinner than that. Now if you try and scale that down to an arm that's that big, I don't think I could paint that in a way that wouldn't look like something that had been hand painted and was too big for the scale. I would worry about that. I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. So we could do the body next time. We might do the hat or the gun, or we will do something other, boots maybe, or start on the face. There's a load of stuff. Isn't it exciting? You can tell I'm hungry. I get a bit crazy when I'm hungry. I'm going to go now. I will see you in part 3. Thanks for sticking around with me. Thanks for putting up with me. That was a very quiet video. I know that when I was painting those trousers again, I went very quiet and had nothing to say. Thanks for putting up with that. I'll see you in part 3, and we will do something else. So take care, look after each other, be nice, make the planet a better place, please, and I'll see you then. Take care, guys.